Recording from the depths of a TikTok scroll hole where time has lost all meaning and he wants nothing more than to escape the polyester purgatory in which he now finds himself, it's your host, Donovan.
Deep dives in the shallow end. Deep dives in the shallow end.
Welcome to another Waist Deep Dive, the bite-sized companion to Deep Dives in the Shallow End, where we take specific aspects of our main episode and really get into the nitty-gritty, like a forensic investigator examining the scene of capitalism's latest crime against humanity. Today, we're diving into the psychological wasteland of haul culture, that peculiar corner of the internet where people film themselves buying enough clothes to dress a small village twice over, all while maintaining the enthusiasm of a cult member who just discovered matching Nikes under their bunk.
Deep dives in the shallow end.
Picture this. It's 3 a.m., you're lying in bed, illuminated by the ghostly glow of your phone, watching someone named Madison _XOXO97 unpack 17 identical shackets from Shein while squealing, "Oh my god, I'm literally obsessed," with all the authenticity of a used car salesman selling you on the benefits of undercoating. And for those of you who are as unfamiliar with fashion and or youth culture as I, which is a shockingly low bar, a shacket is apparently when a fashion designer with the general temperament and mental clarity of Dr. Moreau decided to make a shirt-jacket hybrid that would beg to be put out of its misery if it only had a mouth or consciousness. And then a marketing consultant rolled out of bed, yawned, and decided to name it the first thing that came to their mind. Shirt, jacket, shacket. That'll be 25 grand, please and thank you. But anyway, back to Madison _XOXO97 and her adventures in Wasteland. You know you should be sleeping, but instead, you're watching this modern-day Gatsby showcase their questionable purchases like a museum curator on methamphetamines. It's a curious form of digital self-flagellation that would make even the most devoted medieval monk say, "Whoa there, maybe dial it back a bit." The psychology behind these videos is fascinating, like watching a car crash if the car was filled with polyester blend crop tops and the crash happened in slow motion over 15 installment payments. We're drawn to haul videos like moths to a fluorescent flame, except instead of instant death, we get the slow-acting poison of consumer FOMO. Studies show that watching haul videos trigger the same dopamine response as actual shopping. It's like methadone for shopaholics. You're not actually buying anything, but your brain doesn't know the difference. You're getting high on someone else's supply, like a contact buzz at Grateful Dead concert. Except instead of peace and love, you're absorbing the message that you too need a dozen variations of the same beige sweater. And let's talk numbers. The average haul video features anywhere from $500 to $2,000 worth of clothing, or as I like to call it, 3 months of therapy copays. Or at least it will be when I can find a therapist in my neighborhood who is taking new clients and my insurance. And with those odds, I think I'm better off at the track. These influencers, and I use that term in the same way I'd use gourmet to describe gas station sushi, are dropping more on a single shopping spree than most people spend on groceries in a month. The real kicker? Most of these items will end up in a landfill faster than you can say link in bio for 10% off. It's like watching someone set money on fire while maniacally cackling over the flames in $7 capris that'll disintegrate in the wash like my hairline at 35. Well, I guess it didn't exactly disintegrate, rather, it simply moved south like a confused snowbird. Or perhaps it's just another of the many jokes God likes to play on me, although it's starting to feel less like friendly pranks and more like I am an ant under a magnifying glass at high noon. But why do we watch? Well, according to psychologists, you know, those people my grandfather would not so lovingly describe as New York elitist. You know what? Pop-Pop's maxims never really ended in a complimentary way unless you fit a very specific demographic, so let's move on. In any case, psychologists say we watch the videos due to a combination of aspiration, voyeurism, and good old-fashioned self-loathing. Oddly enough, the latter two being some of my more positive and wholesome traits, but I guess it's all relative. Essentially, we're watching someone else live out our consumer fantasies while simultaneously judging their choices, like some twisted version of the picture of Dorian Gray, where the portrait is a closet full of fast fashion and we're all slowly selling our souls for same-day delivery. The comments section of these videos is its own special circle of hell. Where did you get that, they ask, as if the giant Shein and Temu logos watermarked across the screen weren't obvious enough. OMG Queen, and other such cringe-inducing nonsense, they cry, as another polyester butterfly flaps its wings and causes a chemical spill in some faraway country with, let's call them, flexible environmental regulations. But here's the reality of this situation. Haul culture is just another symptom of our collective descent into late-stage capitalism's dank basement, the kind of basement with shackles on the wall, and not the fun kind. We're all just rats in a maze, except instead of cheese, we're chasing the next dopamine hit from watching someone unbox their umpteenth tacky piece of trash. And that's coming from me. And I have the fashion sense of a derelict Franciscan monk. I just don't get young people. Oh God, I'm turning into my father. Next, I'll be screaming at the morning news with a sixer of room temp Old Milwaukee on my lap. I love you, Dad. It's like we're all participating in some massive psychological experiment. Except instead of Milgram studying obedience, we're studying how many ascots, or whatever kids are wearing these days, it takes to fill the void where self-worth used to be. But let me give you a hint. It doesn't come from dollar-a-pound clothing hastily Frankenstein by maltreated laborers. So what's the solution? Well, like most things in life, it probably starts with therapy. But barring that, maybe we could all benefit from taking a step back and asking ourselves why we're watching someone named Kaylee, spelled in some inscrutable way, max out their parents' credit cards on clothes that'll be out of style before they even hit the gram. Just remember, folks, every time you watch a haul video, somewhere, an independent retailer has a random small patch of their hair plucked without warning. And while I'm not saying we should all start wearing burlap sacks and foraging for berries, maybe, just maybe, we don't need to watch another quote-unquote huge summer haul parentheses I spent my rent money video. Until next time, this has been your waist deep dive into the psychological quicksand of haul culture. Take care of yourselves and others, and maybe give your thumb a rest from the endless scroll. After you hit like and subscribe, of course. And as always, I hope you'll join me on the next episode where we'll continue to wade through the murky waters of modern existence, one absurdity at a time.
Deep dives in the shallow end. Deep dives in the shallow end. Deep dives in the shallow